Oh, what local healthcare providers are doing to make sure the COVID vaccines are properly protected. And at least one Republican senator says he's siding with his House colleagues and plans on challenging the Electoral College certification. Plus, saying goodbye to 2020, how the new year is being celebrated like never before.
This is News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Snow is on the way for the first day of the new year, but not for everyone. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti with our first warn forecast. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. Well, the last day of 2020 ended up just kind of cold and cloudy. You didn't get much sunshine today. The time lapse from the Edgewater Skycam tells the story. Thought we'd see those clouds thin out at some point, but they just never did here. North of Madison, they did, and there was a little more sunshine. But now skies are mostly cloudy, and that may actually help keep temperatures up a degree or two tonight. Doppler track, though, free of precipitation across Wisconsin, so those clouds not producing any snow. High temperatures today, lower to middle 20s. Madison topped out at 23. Janesville a little warmer at 27, but most areas were in the low to mid 20s. And right now, temperatures are in the teens. A few places up to the north, like Wautoma, are down to around the single digits, and that's because those skies have cleared out. But we'll see those temperatures probably drop to close to 10 degrees over the next couple of hours. Otherwise, we have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening for areas south and east of Madison, where we could see 1 to perhaps as much as 3 or 4 inches of snow down toward the Illinois state line east of Beloit. But areas north and west of Madison may get little or no snow at all. For tomorrow, look for cloudy skies to start out the first day of the new year. We'll see some light snow develop in the afternoon, again, mainly south and east of Madison. And there could be a little freezing drizzle mixed in as well. High temperature at 30. If you do have travel plans later tomorrow and tomorrow night down to the south, you may want to rethink those. I'll have more details on weather in just a few minutes.
A hospital worker at Aurora Medical Center in Grafton, just north of Milwaukee, has now been arrested for intentionally removing more than 50 vials of COVID-19 vaccine from a refrigerator. Grafton police have recommended multiple felony charges, including recklessly endangering safety. The FBI and FDA are also investigating. Aurora officials say the employee admitted they did it on purpose. The hospital was forced to discard more than 500 doses, and some people accidentally received ineffective vaccines because they were left out and then returned to the refrigerator.
This means that the 57 vaccinations that were administered on December 26th were rendered less effective or ineffective. The 57 recipients of those vaccines have been notified. At this time, there is no evidence that the vaccinations pose any harm to them, other than being potentially less effective or ineffective.
Aurora officials contacted drug maker Moderna, who reassured them there's no safety concerns with administering a vaccine that may have been out of the fridge for too long. So what's being done to make sure vaccines in Madison are kept safe? It's a multi-layered system, as Naomi Coles explains.
St. Mary's Health and UW Health Hospital here in Madison are both major vaccine storage hubs. And this news out of Milwaukee has them both rechecking and double-checking their plans to keep their vaccines secure. Dr. Jeff Pothoff wasn't exaggerating this afternoon.
We thought of this more like an armored truck full of gold, rather than glass vials full of, clear liquid.
Which is why the case of an Aurora employee wasting more than 500 of those doses on purpose has healthcare workers concerned.
That's a pretty big number.
And evaluating their own security systems as a result.
Those areas are under 24/7 video surveillance. So, if you approach a freezer, someone else is watching you approach that freezer.
At both UW and SSM Health, only authorized users can access storage areas, which, like the freezers, are locked. More people handle the vaccines once they leave storage, but there are also far fewer doses than back at the freezer.
So if you're going to do something, your impact would be much smaller.
Both systems say they have not introduced new security changes, but the news has led to security reviews.
So every dose is very valuable. So it certainly puts pressure on us to make sure that we revisit our protocols and make sure one more time that all vaccines are stored safely and securely. Until it's time to get them out and send them to a vaccination site.
We say, you know what, could that happen here? And if it could happen here, is there anything more that we could do to make sure it doesn't happen here?
Both sites have the capacity to store thousands. At UW, Dr. Pothoff says they have space for 250,000. But the focus is to get doses into people's arms.
We don't have a ton sitting at any given point in time.
And have as few stored on site as possible.
The tricky thing is you can have very robust security protocols. If you do have, one individual individual who does have access and you just don't know their intent, it's possible for those people to do some damage.
As Dr. Potoff at UW Health explained, it's a process of constant reevaluation to make sure that a story like this doesn't happen here.
Naomi Coles reporting live tonight. Naomi, thank you. For the first time since early December, Wisconsin health officials reported more than 4,000 new cases of COVID-19 today. 34 more people died in the past 24 hours as the state nears the 5,000 mark. And a positive story today. After spending 65 days in the hospital battling the virus, Sandra Eben was given an honor walk today, being released from the hospital. Unity Point Health Meritor shared this video with us. Sandra spent Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas with the hospital team, but was finally reunited with her husband and grandchildren today. Dr. Drew is the latest to announce a COVID diagnosis. The celebrity doctor posted the news on Instagram. He says he is getting better and appreciates all the kind words from fans on his recovery. He says he originally tested negative for the virus, but has been sick for 6 days. Americans appear to be continuing to travel for the holidays despite public health warnings to stay home. The TSA reported its third busiest day of the pandemic yesterday. More than 1 million people went through airport security checkpoints for the 5th day in a row. There's been a notable upward trend in passengers since mid-December. Earlier this week, the federal government said it was going to fine distilleries $15,000 for making hand sanitizers earlier on during the pandemic. But tonight it says that won't happen anymore. The Department of Health and Human Services said the fee was charged by mistake. Hundreds of businesses started making sanitizers after supplies dwindled in March. The government reports another 787,000 Americans filed first-time claims for jobless benefits during the week of Christmas. It is a decline from the week before and slightly better than economists predicted, but claims were still 3.5 times higher than the same time last year. President Trump is extending restrictions on immigration. He did so tonight, just hours before the current order was set to expire. The president says the restrictions are necessary, citing the pandemic's impact on the labor market. The new order extends his immigration proclamation from April that targeted immigrants who are seeking to legally migrate to America. President Trump is back in Washington as he plots out his next move to challenge the election results. Across town, the Senate has adjourned for the day. Members are preparing to begin the new year by giving the president his first veto override. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with more.
Mr. President, will you take our questions?
Moments after President Trump returned to the White House, he tweeted a pre-recorded New Year's message.
We've already begun a nationwide vaccination program, and we're sending the vaccine all over the world. The world will benefit, and everybody's calling to thank me.
The president's legal team has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn his loss in Wisconsin, though so far the High Court has refused to hear any election-related cases. President Trump is also pushing a fight on Capitol Hill for January 6th, when Congress meets to count electoral votes. Several House Republicans and one Missouri Senator, Josh Hawley, say they will object during the count.
You've got 74 million Americans who feel disenfranchised. This process right here, my one opportunity to stand up and say something, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Nebraska GOP Senator Ben Sasse blasted his colleagues on Facebook, saying the president and his allies are playing with fire. Here on Capitol Hill, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell blocked the Democrats' attempt to bring up a clean vote on those $2,000 stimulus checks for a third day in a row.
Socialism for rich people is a terrible way to help the American families that are actually struggling.
All that I am asking Senator McConnell is give us a vote. What is the problem?
The Senate also continues to debate on a measure to override the president's veto of the National Defense Bill. That vote is expected to take place Friday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration is less than 3 weeks away. Today, the committee planning the event announced there will be a memorial the night before to honor the more than 330,000 Americans who have died from COVID-19. Well, today is the final day of early voting in the U.S. Senate runoff elections in Georgia. So far, more than 2.5 million votes have been cast early in this election as people have been waiting in lines for hours. This election is a big one. It will decide who controls the U.S. Senate. Both President Trump and President-elect Biden are set to campaign in Georgia next week. Election day is next Tuesday, January 5th. As the clock struck midnight in Europe tonight, the United Kingdom finally cut its ties with the European Union almost a year after its formal departure. The end of the transition period, 4.5 years after the Brexit vote happened, is a significant moment in the nation's history. After almost 5 decades as part of the 27-nation bloc, the UK will now forge a separate path. Much closer to home, drama on an icy river in Eau Claire last weekend was all captured on camera. 4 young boys were playing on the shore when one of them went onto the ice to grab some trash. The 8-year-old fell through and couldn't get out. Another boy sank into the icy water trying to help, but he was able to get out to safety. Meanwhile, the other children called for adults. Police and the 8-year-old's dad arrived at the same time. The father stretched out on the ice while the officer held his leg, but the dad fell in too. A bystander grabbed the officer, who held onto the father again, who clutched his son. The human chain worked and everyone got out alive. The Kenosha City Council will vote next week whether to impose an emergency declaration in anticipation of the charging decision in the shooting of Jacob Blake. That's according to the local newspaper, Kenosha News. If passed, the declaration would begin on the day of the DA's ruling and remain in effect for the next 8 days. However, we do not know for sure when that decision will come down. Tonight, the community in Omro gathered to honor 2 siblings killed in a crash in Florida. The Omro School District confirmed tonight and has identified them as 21-year-old Dominic Millis and 18-year-old Danica Millis. Police say a suspected carjacker was fleeing from police and drove the wrong way on Interstate 95, hitting them head-on. 2 younger relatives in the back seat were also injured. The siblings were returning from viewing the holiday display at Daytona International Speedway. And new tonight, one of America's most prolific serial killers is dead. Samuel Little died at a hospital yesterday. He was serving 3 life sentences in California for the deaths of 3 women in the late 1980s. But in 2018, he confessed to 93 murders around the country. The killings took place between 1970 and 2005. Still to come tonight at 10, your New Year's Day forecast, including the latest on tomorrow's snow. But first, ringing in 2021 during a pandemic. A look at how it's happening around the world next.
It's the Ayers Furniture New Year's Sale with huge savings on quality name brands, including Lazy Boy, with recliners starting at $399, and Smith Brothers Amish handcrafted sofas at special New Year's sale prices. Ayers Furniture with free delivery. The New Year's Sale. Don't miss it.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The holidays are a time for giving.
To your friends, your family,
To your teachers.
in that spirit of giving,
Chevy's proud to give our employee discount to everyone.
the Chevy price you pay
Is what we pay. Not a cent more.
because giving and giving back is what the holidays are all about.
Use the Chevy employee discount for everyone to get a total value of over $8,400 on this Silverado.
Get the Chevy employee discount for everyone today.
Waking up to stuff like this should never be a surprise. Watch News 3 Now First Warn Weather so you always know what's headed our way. Get more local news now with Channel 3000 Plus, our free digital streaming service that brings you area news and info 24/7 from the News 3 Now team. Channel 3000 Plus. Download it today and watch from your streaming media player or mobile device. Accurate news as it happens.
We want to make sure our vaccination sites are ready.
Right here, where you live.
Nearly half of Dane County's total COVID deaths have come in the last month.
Information that you can use.
These case counts are still testing our public health system and straining our hospital system.
From the team you can trust.
So many generous people are willing to help us.
For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now.
It's the Ayers Furniture New Year's sale with huge savings on quality name brands, including Sealy, with queen-size sets starting at $3.99 and Flex Steel sofas starting at $9.99. Ayers Furniture with free delivery. The New Year's sale ends Sunday at 4.
News 3 Now this morning brought together chefs and owners from struggling local restaurants.
Without assistance, a lot of us aren't going to exist in 2021.
Your holiday helpings are already making a difference, and continued support can help keep these vital community businesses alive. Learn more at channel3000.com. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
We are less than 2 hours away from kicking 2020 to the curb. It's easy to look back at this year and think of all the negative things that happened. But to end the year on a high note, we asked people at Elver Park to tell us what's the best thing that happened to them this year. Here are some of their responses.
This year, I got to spend a lot more time with my daughter at home.
We got married this year, so that was nice. Yeah.
Just realizing what's important. Realize that like every day can be good, even if there's bad in it.
Sledding. Playing video games with my family. I got a kitten in October.
And here is a live look at Times Square in New York City. The ball drop will happen on the East Coast in just under an hour. Around the world, millions are welcoming 2021 after a year most everyone wishes had never happened. Nancy Chen reports.
Across the globe, muted celebrations mark the end of a devastating year. In New York's Times Square, there were no massive crowds. Instead, the crossroads of the world was closed to the public because of the coronavirus. But as it has since 1907, the legendary crystal ball will still drop at the stroke of midnight, ushering in what many hope will be a far better year.
Thank God it's over. Start fresh tomorrow. Stamp this virus out and get on with our lives.
A special program is honoring the heroes of 2020.
This is the first year since 1904 that crowds haven't been allowed to gather here in Times Square. Even when the ball drop was canceled for 2 years during World War II, people still came here to hold a moment of silence.
On Bourbon Street in New Orleans, revelers gathered during the day, but the pandemic was on the minds of many.
It's a whole lot different with the COVID, for sure.
In Europe, there were fireworks in an empty Red Square in Moscow. And in the hard-hit UK, London's Big Ben chimed to signify the nation's official split from the European Union. In Japan, bells rang in 2021 at this temple in Tokyo. Celebrations were quiet after the city reported more than 1,000 new coronavirus cases in one day for the first time. New Zealand was one of the few places where thousands could ring in the new year together since the country successfully contained the pandemic. And large crowds gathered in Wuhan, China, where the virus began its first destructive sweep nearly a year ago. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
The Times Square New Year's ball is 12 feet in diameter and weighs more than 11,800 pounds. It is covered with more than 2,500 Waterford crystal triangles. It's a sight to behold. And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with a look at our first warn forecast.
You know, I was just thinking, with all that Waterford crystal, let's hope the way 2020 has gone, let's hope that ball doesn't crash into a million pieces like what happened with the Badgers trophy yesterday. So that's just kind of the way things have gone. Well, 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Look for mostly cloudy skies, but a cold end to 2020. Temperatures will be in the teens tonight. Snow will develop southeast of Madison tomorrow afternoon, possibly mixing some freezing drizzle, and that would last into tomorrow evening. And there could be a couple of inches of snow accumulation there. But dry weather is expected from Saturday through Wednesday morning of next week, and temperatures are expected to be above normal beginning on Saturday and lasting through through the end of next week. On Doppler track, you can see showers and thunderstorms through parts of the southeast, whereas a big winter storm bringing snow into Texas and Oklahoma, then changing to freezing rain up into the northern portions of, or southern portions of Missouri and central Illinois. But as all this moisture flows northward, it's going to be going into the cold air, so we're going to see some light snow here, but freezing rain will be more predominant down to our south. And if you do have travel plans taking you south of Rockford tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, be aware there are ice storm warnings from much of central Illinois for ice accumulations of 1/4 to 1/2 inch and winter weather advisories in effect just south of Rockford and into much of the Chicago metropolitan area. Future track ice accumulations, you can see this area down here into parts of northern Indiana could see anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation. There might be a little bit of very light ice accumulation mixed in with the snow across southern Wisconsin with mainly freezing drizzle. Snow amounts, and this is the very newest computer model information. Actually, it was bumped up the totals to more like in the 2 to 4 inch range, maybe some localized 5-inch amounts in southeastern Wisconsin. Still looking for the heaviest amounts, probably from Beloit eastward, right along the Illinois state line, around 3 to 4 inches there. But notice north and west of Madison, little or no snow accumulation. So there's going to be a very sharp cutoff from areas that get snow to areas that don't get snow during the day tomorrow. You can see on future track the clouds coming in overnight, the precipitation reaching central Illinois tomorrow morning, reaching southeastern Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon, snowing pretty steadily over southeastern Wisconsin, but notice the rest of the viewing area probably missing out on most of the snow. Skies will stay cloudy for tomorrow night, but we'll see partly sunny skies returning on Saturday. So our forecast for the first day of the new year calls for mostly cloudy skies, some light snow developing, mainly southeast of Madison during the afternoon, high temperature at 30, and again, there could be a little freezing drizzle mixed in as well. On future track, temperatures in the teens will actually climb overnight, or at least hold steady in the lower teens, and then start rising up tomorrow as that snow moves in, basically from Madison on toward the south and east. A very sharp cutoff on the northern edge. It's hard to say, you know, within a county or so where that edge will be, but it'll be pretty close to the southeastern part of Madison, and then skies will actually stay cloudy tomorrow night with the precipitation coming to an end. Heaviest snow amounts over southeastern Wisconsin, maybe a couple of inches down toward the Illinois state line, and then 7 to 10 day forecast calls for temperatures to be above normal. Average highs in the upper 20s. We're looking for high temperatures between about 30 and 35. Dry through Wednesday morning, then some light snow Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, and chances for snow for the end of next week just about every day, but any of those systems will be pretty weak, so I'm not looking for much of anything in the way of snow accumulations, which is good news there.
That is good news, Gary. Thank you very much. Just ahead in sports, the Badgers brought their A game down into the paint against the Gophers. How that translated into another big win next in sports with Zach.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
When you have zero worries and zero stress, there are zero reasons not to get into a Volkswagen. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease the 2020 Jetta S today with zero down, zero deposit, zero first month's payment, and zero due at signing.
'Twas the holiday season, and as is often the case, magic was found in an unlikely place. Molly tried her best to make introductions. Dad couldn't see past his grown-up assumptions. But thanks to fresh ham and warm apple pie, Dad was finally able to see with fresh eyes. With the freshest assortment to make everyone's faves, the happiest holidays start with Pick and Save.
What does it mean to fight for what's right? To us, it means helping accident victims get their lives back to normal again. Habish, and Rotier, we fight for what's right.
2020 got you feeling like your life's on pause? Get moving again at Planet Fitness during our big end-of-year sale. Join for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Now through December 31st. And end the year on the right or left foot with tons of variety and space in our squeaky clean clubs. And use our app's new crowd meter to pick the best time to visit. Join for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Hurry! The big end-of-year sale ends December 31st.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Away from your TV? Not a problem. Get breaking news, weather alerts, and political coverage from the award-winning News 3 Now team. Plus, all things Madison. Stay connected anywhere with Channel 3000, Madison's #1 digital news source. When we hear a big storm's headed our way, some of us fall back into bed, some into fresh powder. Spending your day indoors or out, it's all about knowing what to expect. Watch News 3 Now for an accurate first warn forecast so you can plan your perfect day.
At News 3 Now, we've been asking antenna viewers to rescan TVs in order to receive our boosted broadcast signal. If you're still experiencing problems after rescanning, you may need to install a UHF-VHF combined antenna. For more information, please go to channel3000.com.
Accurate news as it happens, right here where you live. Information that you can use from the team you can trust. For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now.
When you have zero worries and zero regrets, there are zero reasons not to get into a Volkswagen. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease the 2021 Atlas V6 ST Tech 4 Motion today. 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month payment, and 0 due at signing.
Tuesday night against Maryland, Wisconsin was owned in the paint. So for 2 straight days, all Micah Potter, Nate Reavers, and Aleem thought about was not having a performance like that down low again. And all that thinking must have worked because Ford was locked in. He was doing his thing inside and outside. The triple there put Scotty up 16. They led by as many as 26. And in the paint, it was like men versus boys. And Potter was a man. He finished with a game-high 18. Badgers outscored Goldie 40-18 down low and moved to 3-1 in Big Ten play with a 71-59 win.
The last 2 days of practice, they were intense. We focused on getting the ball, obviously, inside and scoring inside out. And it went to our favor tonight, even with them having a 7-footer. I think Mike and Nate did a great job, and even Aleem got in there a couple times.
All I know is that the 40 minutes they had today were pretty good. So I don't want to discredit the opponents if we take one on the chin. But I thought we were better in a lot of areas today on both ends of the floor.
Things did not go well for the Wisconsin women. They scored a season-low 49 points in their loss to number 16 Michigan. Badgers still looking for their first win in conference play. The Packers appear to have suffered a huge blow to not just their offensive line or their offense, but to their entire team. Hours after Green Bay placed David Bakhtiari on their injury report, reports are saying that the all-pro left tackle will miss the rest of the year with a torn ACL. That's the bad news out of Lambeau. The good news, Sachs is with the Pack. Damon Snacks Harrison made his practice debut with the franchise after the Packers claimed him off waivers. And if you're a nose tackle with a nickname like that, you have to be good at stopping the run.
That's a big-time pickup for us, especially this late in the season. That doesn't happen very often. You know, he's going to be a guy where, you know, I think he can give us a lot in terms of playing the nose, and you know, he's a really good run defender, and he has been for a really long time. And, you know, just excited to get him in the building.
And the Wisconsin wrestling schedule has arrived. The Badgers open up their 9-duel conference-only slate on January 17th with a tri-duel at Illinois against the Illini and the Buckeyes. The first home duel for Chris Bono's squad is the following Sunday against Purdue, and UW will wrap up their regular season on February 21st against Iowa. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Looking for a sofa? Looking for a chair? You haven't shopped furniture in Madison until you've shopped Dwellings, Madison's best-kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous new showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Hey, got a great deal at Toyotathon.
Got a great deal at Toyotathon.
You too, huh?
Got a great deal at Toyotathon. Yeah. Got a great deal. Okay.
It's the final days of Toyotathon. Yes. Time for you to get a great deal.
Right now, during the final days of Toyotathon, you can lease a new 2021 Toyota RAV4 for $209 a month with $500 lease bonus cash included.
It all ends January 4th.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is the big one, folks. The Brothers Maine Everything's on Sale sale. Get huge clearance prices on every brand in the store with 0% financing for up to 18 months. Only Maine delivers more satisfaction every day, like a risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee, giving you 100% confidence in your purchase. How's that for more? The Everything's on Sale sale with more selection, more savings, and more happy homes on everything. Now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Took down the tree. That means it's time to put 2020 in the rear view and get to the final days of the Ford Built for the Holidays sales event. It's your last chance for our best offers of the season across the Ford lineup. So hurry in today. The Ford Built for the Holidays sales event ends soon. Get Escape with 0 for 66 financing plus $1,500 cash and $2,000 trade assist during the final days of the Built for the Holidays sales event.
Pick up the latest issue of Madison Magazine for our Top Nurses Tribute, a wake-up call on domestic abuse during COVID, why more locals are saying bye-bye to booze, and exciting new monthly features. Madison Magazine on newsstands now.
Wisconsin weather can be frustrating. Get the latest forecast, alerts, and detailed traffic reports from the News 3 Now team, on air, online, and download the Channel 3000 First Warn app. Be the first to know what's headed our way. Accurate news as it happens, right here where you live. Information that you can use from the team you can trust. For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now.
News 3 Now takes you inside Wisconsin's COVID crisis, beyond the statistics.
I just can't even imagine how scared and how anxious my mom must have been.
Hear deeply personal stories of people who've experienced it, including one of our own.
Names behind the numbers, Friday at 4 p.m.
Looking for a sofa? Looking for a chair? You haven't shopped furniture in Madison until you've shopped Dwellings, Madison's best kept secret for design and furniture. Shop our fabulous new showroom, Hard Rock Road, Fitchburg.
Stay updated on coronavirus vaccine information with News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
And Gary's here with the final forecast for 2020.
The last one, well, at least right now, it's pretty quiet out there. Temperatures are in the mid to upper teens. It'll probably only fall a couple more degrees before midnight, so it'll probably be around 15 if you want to go outside to celebrate the new year. But for tomorrow, an alert day for some snow and some freezing drizzle south and east of Madison in the afternoon. Look for high temperature tomorrow of 30 degrees, but a mild start to 2021.
Thank you, Gary. Happy New Year to all of you. Do something good, be well, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.